Everyone, Chef Eric here, and we're going to make chicken and veggie quesadillas with Pico de Gallo. It is an amazingly fresh, healthy, and easy recipe for kids and parents to cook together. We're all at home right now. Lifton Richmond, expert in teaching kids cooking. And let's go over the ingredients to get started. So what we got here, of course, are some chicken breasts and cheddar cheese, roma tomatoes, tortillas, garlic, lime, onion, some bell peppers, and I wanted cilantro, but they didn't have it at the store, so parsley. Some ingredients are really hard to get these days. Of course, salt, pepper, and olive oil. So to make this recipe, we're going to start with the chicken, chop up that delicious salsa. The recipe is in the link below, so you can get it anytime, and let's get started. Move that up just a bit. Okay, so this is one of the most amazing recipes from our spring session, and I love teaching it because it is a great way to show kids how to add some more vegetables into their diet. So what we're gonna do for the vegetables, a little bit of bell pepper and onion, but first I just wanna get started with the chicken breast. Now here's the problem with chicken breasts. It's giant. It's way too big. This will not cook very well. It will not cook evenly. So what I'm going to do is basically use my knife and chop this chicken breast horizontally into thinner pieces. I'll show you what that's like. Take it, hold it down like this, and slice it thin like that. While that's happening, I'm going to preheat my pan. Medium heat. I got an electric hot plate right over here. And what I'm doing right now is just chopping into thinner slices. These big pieces are almost a pound each, and I'm going to trim the fat as well. Of course, I'm going to have a little bowl on the side, and this bowl here helps just have a little trap receptacle. So slice it up, and I'm using a separate cutting board because it's going to make my life a little easier so I don't have to sterilize the one below it. I might actually have to if I get a little bit of juice on it. Give it a quick rinse. So I got this big piece right there. I might chop this up into smaller pieces as well, and they're going to cook a lot faster. There's the chicken, putting it right back on my pan. Now, when you're cooking with chicken, parent, you're going to want to do this in advance. You know, the kids, sometimes they look at chicken, they go, ew, that's raw. I don't want to deal with that. That's okay. Just take it and get it done beforehand. The beauty is when you can make the cooking experience with your kids smooth, easy, and honestly quick. The faster it can be done, you're going to have that little moment of win with your child because, hey, I made this fun recipe. It didn't take hours and hours, and then they go back to their day. So even our cooking class that we teach at school is a similar process. It's going to have some, a lot of the prep, which I'm kind of showing right now behind the scenes, kind of makes so the class can go real smooth. Okay, so I got thin pieces of chicken breasts. I'm going to be cooking a good amount of them right now just because when you cook it once, you might as well cook everything. So, quick sterilization right here. A little bit of soap. And I clean this as well. Okay. So what happens is I now have the cutting boards ready to go. This hot plate right here is preheating, and we are going to get started with the recipe. We did this recipe actually in one of our live virtual classes, and it was so awesome to see. Shout out to Chef Jennifer for teaching that class and really showing a bunch of kids. And it was cool because the kids were actually cooking with her live. Similar recipe. Hers was just a regular veggie quesadilla with a different type of salsa. But for the chicken, again, also I have some blog posts about meal prep. And this is exactly what I do at home. Chop up some chicken, season it with salt and pepper. Get it nice and up high so you get every piece, a little bit of salt. And and this chicken breast, I'm not gonna use all of it for chicken quesadillas. I'm gonna save it and put it in salads and soups and on sandwiches. Just remember, when you are using chicken, it is raw. It does have salmonella, so you can use another pair of tongs, like I am right here, to flip it over and not touch it. If you look at your chicken, you see any bits of white, you want to trim that fat, cut it off. If you see any little red and black pieces, that could be a little bit of like remnant of blood or something. Again, also you can trim that off as well. So keep this off to the side. Use a little paper towel right here, and I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil to the pan. Medium-high heat, and get going. So this is one thing I love about this recipe is that it's a quesadilla. You got cheese in it, you got tortillas. Kids love quesadillas, but what if you could add more vegetables to it? What if you could get your kid to eat more bell pepper, a little onion, and the roma tomatoes? So the way you're going to do that, you're going to get them involved in the process, just like I'm doing right here. So swirl my pan just a little bit. Move this off the side, and just gonna start cooking. Another benefit of having this recipe this way is, I'll move the microphone a little bit, is that you get the chicken to cook faster without being overdone because they are very thin pieces. You don't want to cook giant, thick pieces of chicken breast. You're just going to be spending way too much time cooking, and it's going to be way overcooked in order to get that white level, in order to get it white in the middle when it's done. Okay. Let's move this, a little trash full. So while that's happening, I am going to get started with the bell pepper. So here's what you do, parents. You take it, slice off the edges like that. Also, I have the chat going live, so if you write something, I can actually see it. If you want to hang out, say hi, introduce yourself. Again, all I'm doing right now is just cutting these bell peppers into thin slices like that. Then a kid could take a metal butter knife standing right next to you and chop it into little pieces like this. So you're just saying, no, chop, 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 chop. Unfortunately, when you're under quarantine, there are going to be no kids to volunteer and help out with this kind of cooking video that we're doing. Okay? So get that going. I got an orange bell pepper. Now let's talk about bell peppers. One fun fact is a bell pepper is not a vegetable. It's actually a fruit. The reason it's a fruit is because it grows from the bulbous part of the plant. If the plant, if it's like a broccoli or cauliflower or kale, it grows in the ground. But bell peppers and eggplants and zucchinis grow from the bulbous part of the plant, and they have seeds. Therefore, they are not truly vegetables. They are actually fruit. The reason our society calls them vegetables is because they have a lower sugar content than I'm sorry, they don't call them fruits because they have a lower sugar content than things like strawberries, blueberries, mangoes, bananas, which have a lot of sweetness to them naturally. Bell peppers a little bit, but again, not a true vegetable. It's actually a fruit. But again, it's got a lot of vitamins. It's low calorie, and one vitamin we like to highlight is vitamin C. You know, with the virus and all, you want to be sure you get extra vitamin C to stay healthy and not get sick. And if you are sick, you know, the vitamin C helps your immune system. So vitamin C helps your immune system. All right, chopping it up just a little bit more. So another thing to talk about a little bit today is we are launching our first ever cooking class virtually for kids. It's kind of like this, but it'll be a private group cooking class for 5 weeks starting April 21st. And it is designed for kids who want to learn cooking, who want to eat more vegetables, or their parents want your kids to eat more vegetables because they don't know how to make vegetables taste good. So it's an at-home virtual class. You join in. We have one of our amazing chef teachers ready, and they teach a 50-minute lesson on something like this. The theme right now is actually Mexican fiesta. So we're doing all this type of stuff, including, you know, a veggie quesadilla, crunchy ground turkey tacos, and healthy nachos with a delicious cheddar cheese sauce. Not the time, it's more of a bechamel sauce, but we use some low-fat milk to make it a little leaner with black beans. And that's just a wonderful little dish to make. Crunchy ground turkey tacos, breakfast burrito with eggs, potato, and veggies, of course. And we got one more as well to complete up the 5-week session. All right, so with the kid here, if you have children at home who want to partake in the cooking part of this lesson, give them that metal butter knife and they can sit next to you and just chop, 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 chop. I'm doing this live just because I want to show you every single part of it. But we'll have some videos coming up soon. Anyway, the after school session, it starts April 21st, and it is going to be Tuesdays and Wednesdays from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. And each lesson is actually jam-packed with a lot of culinary information, nutrition, culture, and of course, we've thrown some free bonuses too, like the Kids Can Cook Masterclass, now available for, I think, $197. That whole online course you own for life. And we're giving it as an additional bonus just for this first session of the live spring enrichment class. Because when school shut down, we really want to still be active and start doing stuff. So moving onward, bell peppers are ready. And I'm just going to take all these guys and put them here. And the process of this recipe is pretty simple. This takes the longest. That's why I am starting with it. And then after that, we're going to transition to sauteing the onion and bell pepper, and that's really it. Make the fresh little Pico de Gallo. When that's done, you just throw it all together and you're good to go. So, wiping my board a little bit. If you're getting to, what happened is this board is moving a lot, so what you can do is take a wet paper towel, and just put that underneath right here, and it'll help keep it nice and secure. Let's check on that chicken. Okay, I can turn that up just a little bit. All right, I can hear that delicious sizzling sound going on. And keep that going for another 5 minutes. While that's happening, prep the onion. So with onion, kids might worry a little bit like they're going to cry. The key right here is I'm going to chop it into slivers, and then the kids can more finely chop it. And I'll show you exactly what that looks like. Again, there is an art to teaching kids cooking, and with lift enrichment, that's all we do. We do it very well. So if you want to learn from the best, just follow what I'm saying. So take your onion, chop it into slices like this. Give your kid just a couple pieces. Don't give them a full onion. They're going to cry. A couple pieces like that, and then they will chop it into smaller bites. So take that, and then they can take their little metal butter knife and go chop, chop, chop to make it happen. All right. Chopping away at the onions. If I start crying, you will know why. And I'm actually going to use half the onions for the Pico de Gallo I'm going to make, that delicious, healthy, fresh salsa. And the other half are going to be sauteed into the veggies because they just give this wonderful sweetness to the dish. Huh? Now, I use these little metal bowls all the time for everything because they're light, they're easy to clean, and it just keeps everything kind of organized. Put that in there. Oh, if you want more free content, I talked with my other friends in the education space, Professor Egghead YouTube. They do awesome science classes, and Nick has his program, and that will be happening today at 12 o'clock. So right after this, you want to make a quick lunch and then go sit down and do some science classes with his group live. That'll be a lot of fun. We also have Got Game with Coach K. He's doing some free activity and exercise classes and talent show stuff and all this cool virtual content happening. Again, it's that cool combination of kind of free stuff to check out. We have a ton of free recipes and blog posts and meal prep strategies and all this stuff. And then we have our paid content if you want to go deeper. Again, but it's cool because everyone's offering stuff to parents. So you can do science classes online for free. You can do exercise classes. I'm sure Funky Diva is going to bust out some hip hop classes. And you can take all of that, in the comfort of your home. Because look, Fridays, kids are not at school, right? Usually these days it's, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday through Thursday. So Friday's an opportunity to do some extracurricular learning at home. And with obviously the fun part about a recipe is that you can just go ahead and cook along, have fun with it.
Hi, Eric. How do you get kids to try new foods?
Good question. So one is, and I know I preach a lot, you have to cook it with them. If they don't eat bell peppers, but you have them get engaged and do this part of the process, the chopping, that is one way to do it. That's one tip, cook it with them. Second tip is go grocery shopping with your kids and do this exactly. When they're there, you want them to eat, again, we'll say bell pepper as an example. I'm just chopping up the garlic right now. You say, hey, your kid, George, whatever his or her name is, I want you to choose the best bell pepper of that bunch over there. You are now giving that kid a challenge and authority in a kind of a cute little way to choose the best one. And you can show them, hey, you can ask the grocer right there what he or she recommends and go ahead and choose that bell pepper. So now they've chosen the best bell pepper and they're proud of it. At home, they're chopping it. Now, don't you think that's going to dramatically increase the odds that, hey, they might take a bite of it when it's nicely seasoned and cooked and put into their quesadilla? Yes, it will. So I hope that helps. If you like those types of tips, we're going to be introducing a lot of those. There's a whole section of that in the Kids Can Cook Masterclass, my online program, 30 recipes, lessons on meal prep, kitchen safety, art of reheating, and how to turn your cooking classroom at home into something engaging for you now. All right. Another thing too, a lot of little bowls. Just keeps everything organized. Keeps sanity as well. And I got some garlic. That's just going to flavor the onion bell peppers. I always got my little rag to kind of wipe it down. We're about 8-10 minutes in right now. I think some of the chicken will be ready, at least some of the smaller pieces. So, easy way to do that is just take your chicken. You should see some nice browning on it like this or like that. If you press on the chicken and it feels firm, you're probably done. Another quick way as well is you just take your knife and just slit into it like that. As you can see, this is white in the middle. This one's good to go. Now, not all of them are ready to go, and I know that because some of them are thicker. So let's grab a little plate. Put that off to the side. I'm gonna let the rest of that cook. Now this pan does not heat as well and as evenly as a regular stovetop pan, so it might take a little bit of time, but we are getting there.
All right, next questions. You just shoot them right there and email me. Oh, we got 10 people checking it out live. I think the last video had like 100 views overall.
All right, I'm gonna start working on my Pico de Gallo. And to do that, I do not recommend a chef knife unless it's very sharp. I got a blog post on the best sharpener you can get. It's electric, works amazing. You're going to want to use something like a serrated knife. The reason you want a serrated knife is because the skin, it's not sharp. You'll actually have your knife come and then cut, and then it could nick your finger over there too. All right, so chopping those tomatoes. One of the first memories I ever had was in a cooking class. I was in a classroom in the Valley at a school called Buckley School, teaching a cooking class back in 2010. And I had this kid named Owen who was just like really annoyed that we were cooking with tomatoes. He said to me, Chef Eric, I don't like tomatoes. And I said, just try this. Just give me one try. And what he did was we made tomato basil bruschetta, also one of our videos. And the kid was chopping the tomatoes, looking at them. We seasoned it with a little bit of olive oil, basil, salt, and pepper. We toasted these wonderful little bread slices to make the tomato basil salad. Rub the bread with a little bit of garlic to give it that nice peppery kick to it, and put that tomato basil salad on top of the baguette. What happened is little Owen took a bite and his eyes just popped. And he went to me and he said, "Look, I don't like tomatoes, but I like this." And he was just smiling ear to ear. I was so happy. And that's when I kind of knew that like you can really change the way that kids interact with vegetables. It's not set in stone. You just have to bring it to them in new ways and do exciting things like we're doing in our classes. So his mom was really proud and happy. And obviously he enrolled in years of classes forever onwards. And you know what too is you establish trust with the kids. And they say, look, I trust Chef Eric or Chef Jennifer or Chef Santiago or Chef Yvette. I trust them because their food's pretty good. So when I'm trying something new, they're going to be more likely to try it. All right, so I'm just giving these tomatoes a rough chop right here. And again, the kid portion is just having them have a little metal butter knife and just slice this right next to you. And this is the best time to talk to them, engage with them. How was your day? What's new? And the reason is because when they're chopping and kind of in their own zone, you can have conversations that you may not otherwise, especially with older kids, maybe teens. Instead of saying, "Hey, how's your day?" Fine. You can actually, there's a meditative element of just kind of getting in the zone. I'm just chopping, three or four Roma tomatoes. I'm not focused on the conversation as much, just talking casually. And one of my favorite marketers, Seth Godin, he even said that it's one of his favorite ways to get his own kids engaged in conversation was to have him cook with them, because you're spending valuable time with people you love and you got to eat anywhere. All right, so the chicken is pretty good right now. Got beautiful browning on that. And what I'm going to do, you can see that. Oh, look at that. That's delicious right there. I'm going to give this plate a quick rinse, and we'll get to the finish line. Okay, quick rinse. Time to saute some vegetables. Medium, high heat. Give it a quick wipe. All right. So I'm making a lot of Pico de Gallo because I'm going to be eating this with my fiance Liz. Shout out to Liz. She's at work right now at the bank helping clients, getting those loans and SBA stuff and all these things that they need. So she'll get some leftovers. Emmett, the puppy, will get some leftovers. Neighbors, whoever else is around that wants to say hi. Of course, we are social isolating, so may not be a lot of that these days. But this is a good time to cook at home. Do not waste this time to not cook with your kids, man. This is invaluable. How many times in your life will you have to hang out with your kids at home for such an extended period of time? This is unheard of. And this is the best time to do it because they're at home anyway. You need activities and stuff to do. All right. So now we're going to saute the onion, bell pepper, a little bit of garlic as well. There's the bell pepper. Take half the onion, put that in as well. And some of the garlic. A little salt and pepper. Boom. You got to get a cool pepper grinder like this. All right. Stir that up. All I'm doing is really just softening the vegetables, and that's going to go inside.
take this. All right, a lot of watery parts too, but it's all good. Always what I'm doing when I'm cooking is kind of removing the things I am done with. So to make the Pico de Gallo, all we're gonna do is just throw everything together. And again, oh, I forgot the mock cilantro right here. Again, we got, if you have, oh, we got some likes. Thank you for all those for liking the video. Any questions? I put it on the chat. Let's chit chat. See how we're doing. Gonna give these guys a bit of a rough chop. Now, obviously, cilantro will give it more of that classic Mexican flavor. But for what we're doing here, I just want that. I want the color. I want the texture. I want that little herbal note to just give it a little bit more. Chopping, chopping, chopping. Wish I had cilantro, but it was not available. All right, let's put it all together, guys. I'm gonna save some of the parsley for later. I don't need to use it all right now. Stir it up as I'm going, multitasking. Okay, let's talk about when kids are stirring. When kids stir, what you want to do is have them move things around. You hold this, they move that. And that is how you really get the kids to engage. It's how we do it in our cooking classes too. We have everybody stir for like 10 seconds because we got about, 5 minutes to do this. Oh, let's talk about next week, man. Next week, I'm excited. Next week, we're doing another recipe from the Kids Can Cook Masterclass. And the theme is steak dinner. I enjoy eating meat, and steak is a treat. So we will be making a quick little steak dinner. But you got to know how to do this, man. This is important life skills. Anyway, take your lime. I want you to give it a little rub. When you rub it like that, it actually helps release the moisture. It kind of relaxes it a little bit so you can squeeze it better. So I'll start with a couple. So I'll start with a little bit right here to start. Add some fresh onion. Of course, season with salt. Pepper, salt, all that good stuff. I'll put a little bit of olive oil. Make a bit of a salad. It's essentially a little salad. And then, of course, squeeze that lime. You're going to have an excellent weekend. I know I'm going to have an awesome weekend. That's going to be at home, like the weekend before and the weekend before that. The home's pretty cool. I got this awesome kitchen to hang out in and do some cooking. I'm going to make some cookies later. Play some virtual board games with friends. That's always good. Anyway, stir that up. Stir it up. Have fun with it. If you have jalapeno, give it a little kick. I actually don't have a jalapeno on me, but I might give it a little bit of hot sauce. We'll see. I'm always going to use a separate spoon when I'm tasting, because one of our rules of the classroom is taste your food before you serve it. Ooh, that's getting there. A little lime. And just a little bit more salt. I'm going to add a little bit more onion as well. I wanted to give that, the onion kind of gives it that wonderful crunch that I like. You can use red onion. That's the best one. But I only have the white onion on me, so use what you got. But I almost always have tomatoes and onions on me, so it makes this dish really easy to make. Another cool thing, too, about quesadillas is you can actually make a bunch in advance, and they reheat really well on the stove or the oven. Okay, put that in there. Okay, I think we hit every note that I wanted it to hit. Okay, guys, let's get to the finish line on this. Oh man, this smells amazing. This onion bell pepper, I make this almost every week because it is so flavorful. Put it inside of wraps on top of fresh cooked meats, or even just as its own little side. So good. All right, let's do a quick little cleanup of everything we got here because we're almost done. I just gotta grate that cheese. Want to wipe that board because you don't want onion flavored cheese. It's just not very good. All right, everyone. Show that cheese a great time. I got some sharp cheddar here. Now, you want to use freshly grated cheese because cheese that is pre-grated has a lot of starch in it. Potato starch is the typical ingredient, and that prevents it from clumping. It also prevents it from melting very well. So that's why it's worth to put in that little bit of extra effort to do this part right here. It's a good variation, a breakfast quesadilla. Oh, we got some more people joining. I like it. Tower of cheese. Of course, I got to eat some because I'm cooking. Okay. Now we're going to take our chicken. Take one of these beautiful little chicken slices. Just slice it up like that. I think our bell peppers are pretty much done, so let's put that in another bowl. Okay. Again, it's easy to do in a pan, but I'm just going to kind of just take it out and just gently put it in like that. There we go. Give that pan a quick rinse, and let's make some tortillas. Crisp it up. Okay. All right, everyone. It is the best part. It is time to. Oh my gosh, the chicken is wonderful. Again, if your chicken comes out rubbery, it's because you're not browning it properly. My brother actually did this. He was telling me, but when you cook less chicken at a time, you don't overcrowd the pan. It all comes out nicely. So I got some chicken breast over here, and I got everything. So let's assemble. Take your tortilla, add a little bit of cheese on the bottom, some chicken, like that, some delicious of that onion bell pepper saute. You could also add zucchini, tastes really good. You could add black beans, a little bit more cheese like that, and that's it. Just gonna fold that on top like this. Make one more because I'm going to cook 2 at a time. Probably this pan is big enough I could do even more, but we'll just see what happens.
This weekend, we have a blog post coming out on how to meal prep, 4 bonus tips to mix it up, make it taste good, because you can't just meal prep the same food every time. We also have a blog post about some chef items that I really like, and on a YouTube video coming up to help families what you need in your emergency storage at home. Because people miss out on some key elements. It's not just buying a ton of food. You need more. You need some other ingredients as well, some other supplies as well. And you know what? We're all stockpiling. It's something you buy once and you have forever. So take that, a little bit of oil in the pan, just to give it a little bit of crispiness. And we're going to add our quesadillas with the chicken. This pan is pretty big, so I'm just going to make another one. It also tastes really good with steak. It's carne asada. Emmett's kind of jealous right now because he's in his crate and not getting any attention. But I'm like, look, man, this chicken's mine. I'll give you a little bit later. All right. So I want to talk a little bit about some interesting things. So quesadilla comes from the word queso. Queso means cheese in Spanish. And I mean, quesadillas are just tortillas and cheese cooked together. That's all it is. It came around in the 16th century in Mexico, and quesadillas are beloved all over, especially in America. We love our quesadillas. Another element, again, we talked about bell peppers. Bell peppers have a lot of great vitamins, including vitamin C, which is good for your immune system. And today, I think we learned about cooking proteins, especially chicken breast, which is lean and full of protein. Our way is really easy to do it. We talked about how to get kids to eat more vegetables, and we made a delicious Pico de Gallo. So again, just a reminder that we have the first ever Kids Can Cook live spring session that's going to be happening April 21st and April 22nd. Is a 5-week start date for each row of 5 weeks. Each class is going to feature one of our chef teachers making a delicious and healthy meal with your kid right there. You can cook live with them. They'll learn about health and culture and nutrition and culinary techniques every lesson. I mean, that alone is usually about $125 for a 5-week session with us. This way, you don't have to leave your home. Parents can jump in as well. And that we're adding the Kids Can Cook Master Class is worth, $197, almost $200. That is included as a special bonus for our virtual session. And we're adding a one-on-one healthy family coaching. This is where you can get on the phone with myself or one of our Lift and Enrichment directors to troubleshoot the unique needs and issues of your family's health. The dietary needs, expanding their child's palate, whatever is unique to them. We help you through that by actually talking through it because we have a lot of experience. We've been doing this a long time, over 10 years. All right. We're getting there. I see another question, but it's a little far away, so I'm going to get a little closer. Hi, Becky. My daughter wants to know if it still tastes good if we do only the vegetables and no chicken. Her sister's a vegetarian. All right, Becky. The answer is yes. You can. This recipe is a quesadilla. You can make it any way you want for vegetarians. Add a little bit of black bean. It's really nice. Be sure you rinse it and then serve it with the Pico de Gallo. But the onions have a lot of sweetness to them. This will taste amazing. You just make essentially a veggie quesadilla. And, I hope it goes well. We had some students who took pictures of making chicken, put that on our Instagram. We had some people make the granola from last week. It was really cool to see that in action. All right, so these are ready to flip. And they are getting nicely toasted. And here's a little chef tip right here. So when you got that crunchy quesadilla outside, the tiniest little pinch of salt like that. And it is hard to see these comments, but I'm going to go, thank you. You're welcome, Becky. Happy to help. I'm glad I turned on the comments. We got some conversations going on. Again, we are, the Kids Can Cook live spring session starts April 21st and April 22nd, Tuesdays and Wednesdays starting at 3 o'clock, both days, 5-week sessions. You get the lessons, $125 worth of lessons. You get $200 masterclass. You get $200 healthy one-on-one coaching, $500 of value for only $99. And You can even, we will give you a full refund if after the first class you want to do, if you before the second class, completely full refund. So there's literally no risk. And I really hope your kids want to do something after being at home all day from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. You take this cooking class, buy the ingredients so you have it ready. They watch the lesson. They can cook with you, but that's harder. Just watch it, engage, have fun. There's other students in the room. It's private. Only people enrolled can join. And then afterwards, you make the recipe. You're cooking dinner together. How awesome does that sound? So I'm excited for that. And of course, summer camp is going to be awesome when all this is hopefully over and we can hang out in person and teach our cooking classes. But until then, the virtual stuff, this is an opportunity for businesses like myself to try out virtual classes, see how it's going. And I'm bumping up my marketing up to another level. Way more YouTube, way more Instagram, recipes, helpful tips, all for parents. Okay, everyone, it smells amazing. The melted cheese, the crispy tortilla. I like to chop my quesadillas into triangles because triangles taste better. Shout out to Jake Kenji Lopez Alt on this amazing channel. So here we go. I got my quesadilla. A little bit of that salt Pico de Gallo. So excited. Here, I'll get a little closer for this. Look at that. Oh, don't want it to fall on it. And let's put it all together. Oh. You guys, who doesn't love a quesadilla? It's lunchtime. Go make this. It is delicious. Kids love to make it. It's fun. Send me pictures on Instagram at Lift Enrichment. And have a great rest of your Friday. All right. See you next week. Steak and veggies.